Welcome to our DVSA Earned Recognition Webinar. I'm Victoria Baker, Managing Director of Technopoly Limited. An accelerator is a piece of software, our fleet and workshop management software that Earned Recognition is a part of. We're joined today by Phil. He's the Earned Recognition National Account Manager at the DVSA. Welcome, Phil. Thank you for giving us your time today.
Thanks for having me.
Phil's going to be discussing the Earned Recognition Scheme, but just prior to that, I'm going to be talking about Accelerator and how we can help you stay compliant and show you a little bit about our Earned Recognition module as well. Towards the end of the presentation, there will be the opportunity to ask questions. So a very quick introduction to us and who we are. Accelerator is a fleet and workshop management software provider and is a product of Technopoly software. We were established in 1994 and it's a family company. My parents set it up and I've been back with the business for about 10 years. Over that time, we've built up a huge amount of expertise in helping our customers grow their business and helping vehicles remain roadworthy. Accelerator has the flexibility to adapt to your business needs, whether you run a fleet of vehicles, a workshop, or manage equipment. So just a bit of a timeline about us. We were founded in 1994 by Kathleen and Graham Halliwell. And in 1999, we released the very first version of Accelerator. Back in 2012, our Go Mobile web portals were born. And this allowed technicians to complete jobs on the go from a phone, laptop, or tablet. In 2018, we launched our My World support portal. This allowed our customers to log support requests, allowing us to better support our software. In 2021, Accelerator became an accredited supplier to the DVSA, and we launched our Earned Recognition module. Coming soon is our Accelerator Cloud module, and in the interim, we actually have a hybrid model, which is being extremely well received. We offer 3 core packages for Accelerator. Accelerator Fleet. This is ideal for an independent fleet operator. If you want to achieve the perfect balance of compliance to regulations, efficient operations, and tightly controlled running costs, this is the package for you. Accelerator Workshop is absolutely perfect for commercial workshops that want to eliminate paperwork, increase your profits, and improve traceability. If you're a large fleet operator, or you have multi-site service centres, our enterprise package is perfect. It's great for larger organisations such as councils and national multi-depot distribution centres. Accelerator offers a variety of modules and features that can help you stay compliant. We have customisable inspections that can be set up for different vehicle types. We have an ATF lane module to help manage your ATF lane bookings. Our reminders and scheduling allows you to set yearly, monthly, or daily reminders that alert you of upcoming services, so you never miss a KPI check. And these will help you ensure that inspection faults are dealt with on time. Accelerator also keeps a record of all historical faults and defects on your vehicles, which can be pulled up at a moment's notice. We have a daily driver vehicle check module to make sure your drivers are completing the daily checks. And Phil is going to talk about Earned Recognition. Then I will briefly cover our KPI dashboards and our Earned Recognition module in a little more detail. So over to you, Phil. Sam, if I give you control.
Yeah, hi Phil. I think I've actually just managed to get you as a presenter, hopefully. Has it just updated
Yes,
for you? Perfect.
Superb. Okay,
Same.
Phil, if I stop sharing and over to you.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Thanks very much, Victoria. And thank you and good afternoon to everyone. Thank you once again, like I say, for inviting me along today. My name is Phil Breen. I'm the DVSA Earned Recognition National Account Manager. Little bit of background around me and why I just open up our presentation. I've been with DVSA now for 18 years for my sins. I've worked in every department within DVSA, being roadside and then also looking after national bus compliance before moving into recognition. So I want to explain to you a little bit about the scheme, where it sits, why I think it's so important to our industry, but also the knock-on effects of why earned recognition works, basically. So hopefully you can all see that title page. So like I say, I'm Phil Breen, the Earned Recognition National Account Manager. Now, the first slide that I want to start off with is non-compliance. Now, this is an issue that affects every single one of us. These non-compliant vehicles, so some of those images that you can see there on your screen, are all from recent encounters that DVSA roadside teams have seen in recent months. So I'll go through some of these images in a little bit more detail. These are live, these are outside on our roads, unfortunately. So you've got a double skip loaded there in the top left-hand corner. Sorry, that's a little bit grainy. That was actually taken from some camera footage that was used in police evidence. So this operator decided to double load their skip unsafely. They then went on a dual carriageway. They were approaching a bridge. Luckily, they didn't drive into the bridge because they would have done if they carried on their journey, but they did decide the best thing to do was to stop in a fast-moving dual carriageway, lower their skip, drive under the bridge, carry on, stop once again, and bring the skip back up. No regard for road safety there, no regard for other road users. Bottom image there that you will see, now they're some crushed vehicles from an operator. So there was a total of over 40 defects found with those vehicles, and the decision was made that they were in such a bad state that actually those vehicles would be crushed. There was no way they were going to be roadworthy again. You can see an examiner there. They're actually from the Health and Safety Directorate. They are standing on over 40,000 tonnes worth of rubbish. Now that was dropped by said operator on a piece of greenbelt land. Now, that could be the playing field where your kids go to school. That could be the common behind your house. That could be the local park where your parents walk their dog. These all have an impact on our communities, the people that we work and live alongside. So although, yes, these are road safety issues, there is a knock-on effect across society and also around our communities. That final image there that you'll see in the top right-hand corner, that's a HGV that was stopped at our Dover location. So no points there for guessing what is missing. There is meant to be a tyre there, and there's also meant to be a wheel, neither of which are there. That driver has decided to put on some cables there to hold it in place. Now they are going to fail at some point. And that vehicle wasn't just going around the corner. That wasn't doing a little local delivery, by which you cannot do anyway. It would not be safe. But they were quite happy to take that vehicle onto our motorway network. Now, those straps will fail, and that vehicle will probably be involved in an accident, possibly a fatality. That is what non-compliance looks like. That is what DVSA deal with every single day. And we do that very well, but we don't unfortunately have unlimited resource. But what earned recognition gives us is the power to free up some of that resource. And I'll come on to that in a bit more detail. So I want to move on to compliance and what compliant operators look like. So earned recognition recently, last month in fact, celebrated 5 years of compliance and road safety. So these are some of our operators that operate within the earned recognition scheme. So these are operators that take road safety seriously. They understand the impact that they have on our road networks, on the supply chain, and also the communities in which they operate and serve. So for us, it's all about making sure that compliance is easily achievable, and we set that out through the earned recognition scheme. There is a reason why earned recognition is celebrating its 5-year anniversary. So yes, it's not, of course, we're at the 5-year mark, but I think if we celebrate anything, it's got to be for good reason. And I strongly believe that there is good reason to be celebrating earned recognition. At our recent summit in April, the Traffic Commissioner for the West described earned recognition operators as the safest on our roads. There is a recent call to evidence regards to the heavy goods testing review. So the heavy goods testing review is looking at things like self-testing, deregulation of testing. It's looking at biannual MOTs, higher service values within the MOT space. These are all aimed at earned recognition operators. That call to evidence, which closes this Friday, for continuity purposes, that'll be the 9th of June 2023. That call to evidence is not taken lightly. Ministers don't change legislation because they feel like it. There is a need to understand that earned recognition operators are the safest on our roads, and therefore a call to evidence to review the heavy goods testing regime is being called. So again, real highlights there to earned recognition and then being recognised as the safest operators and vehicles and drivers on our roads. So earned recognition itself, what is it? Why did it come about? So like I said, DVSA don't have an unlimited amount of resource, but what earned recognition does is it frees up that roadside resource. So within earned recognition, operators that operate within the scheme are not targeted by DVSA's roadside teams, nor do they have the on-site visits, or the remote enforcement work does not take place involving earned recognition operators. They're allowed to carry on with their day-to-day work. It was set up so that we could set clear guidance as a standard to what exemplar operators look like. So earned recognition is broken into lots of different sections, all in line with your operator license obligations, and it sets out what compliance looks like. So it was important for the agency and also the Central Department for Transport to recognise those that are getting it right. I think it's quite easy for an enforcement agency to be negatively focused, I guess, because we are trying to not catch out the bad guys, but we're trying to stop the non-compliant, aren't we? We're stopping those vehicles that are getting it wrong. We're issuing graduated fixed penalties. We're taking people to court for prosecution. We're putting them in front of the traffic commissioner at public inquiries. These have all got quite negative connotations, don't they? Don't get me wrong, we should absolutely be doing that, and DVSA will continue to do that. But actually, it's quite nice and quite positive to reward those that are getting it right and recognising them through the earned recognition scheme. So through a set of KPIs, data shared with the DVSA team once every 4 weeks. That information then is just an overview. So I don't have direct access to your systems, neither do any of my team. We aren't there as Big Brother, we're more there as a helping hand. So I know Victoria is going to touch on some of the KPIs and some of the details around the accelerator system and how they work later on in today's webinar. But those KPIs come through. There's also an audit at the point of application, then once every 2 years. But then we let you crack on. We let you get on with being an operator. We set out those standards. So there's a how-to guide, as it were, of what compliance looks like, and you can carry on with your business. Equally, though, we are in your corner when you need us to be. And what I mean by that is you've got the DVSA Earned Recognition team at your disposal. So my team are made up of traffic and vehicle examiners, data analysts, audit specialists, and technical and mechanical staff. So they are there to help and guide you in your journey of being a safe and compliant operator, because of course safety and compliance is ever changing, ever evolving. New legislation comes in, new types of vehicles, etc. And when the phone a friend at the end of the line, we help you to stay in that compliance space, because I'm not saying earned recognition operators are perfect. You're dealing with vehicles, drivers, other road users, supply chains, etc., etc. Things will go wrong once in a while. That's okay. We are there to help and guide you so that it doesn't happen again, that they are isolated incidents and they don't become a culture of non-compliance. Keep you in that compliance space. So as well as being an earned recognition operator, which is a free to join scheme, I'll add, and us not targeting you at the roadsides, we also recognise that it's important that there's commercial value to earned recognition operators. And what I mean by that is we deal with many contractual holders, many supply chains, many local authorities, etc. And why would we not want the safest and most compliant operators to benefit from those contracts? Why would these services, these companies, why would they not want the safest operators and safest vehicles and safest drivers on their sites at the end of the day? Why would you not? So that's why we've opened up some commercial modules. So in 5 years, we've launched 5 modules, but there are more due to be launched as well. And I'll just go through some of these in a bit more detail. So the TfL contractual module. So we launched this at the tail end of last year. So previously, to be awarded a TfL contract, you needed to be a 4 Silver operator. You needed to be a member of 4 Silver. Now TfL recognise the DVSA Earned Recognition Scheme as another alternative, basically. So you can now apply for TfL contracts. Additionally, that also covers you for clocks. So the construction and logistics side of our industry, they also recognise it through the TfL contractual module, as well as many other schemes associated with TfL, all details of which can be found on gov.uk on our website, and those details will follow shortly. So that covers a whole host of contracts and gives our industry choice, which I think is very, very important. There's also the London Power Tunnels, or LPT2 module. So we launched that alongside LPT2 so that they could guarantee that safety was taken seriously on their site. So that is the largest European tunnel build for electric piping across all of Europe. So again, offering commercial aspects to operators. You've also got HS2 there, so obviously high speed rail 2. So that construction is taking place. There's lots of avenues in that. In terms of not just the construction, but the logistics side, transport, etc. And through HS2 module, you can apply for contracts on the HS2 project. We've also got the Guild of British Coach Operators module. So this is aimed at our PSV colleagues. So for us, it was really important that we gave a module to our PSV operators, but the Guild's been around for many years, and it's always associated itself with very high standards when it comes to customer journeys and customer satisfaction. So that was really important to us. But with Earned Recognition covering aspects of safety and compliance, and the Guild covering aspects of community, customer service, etc., people that use operators in the Guild that have the module know that they're getting that full package of safety and also customer service. So that was quite a nice one to launch again at the tail end of last year. Our most recent module that we've launched is the concrete operational module. So this is for sites that deal with cement, concrete, some quarry work, etc. And also those vehicles and operators involved in that surrounding supply chain. So historically, it's always been quite difficult to enforce or deal with operators in this space due to the nature of their loads. You know, if our roadside teams were to stop one of these operators, they can only hold them for a set amount of time because obviously it's going to set, their loads are going to set. So for us, offering this guidance of what this should be and what those operators should be doing, what those vehicles should be doing, a really key part of that industry, for which those vehicles have only actually been required on an operator license for the last couple of years. So really important that we launched that in the last couple of months. So something else which is launching very, very soon on the 14th of this month is our latest program. So the newest addition to the Earned Recognition family is the Road to Earned Recognition, or DVSA R2ER program. So this is very much a trial program. It launches on the 14th of June, like I said, and this is aimed at operators who have held an operator license for 6 months or less. This is all about helping you to get it right from day one. So to be in Earned Recognition, the general Earned Recognition scheme, you need to have held an operator license for a minimum of 2 years and have a good compliance history. But for the Road to Earned Recognition program, we are looking at those newer operators, those that are new to our industry. I'm a big believer in it's far easier to help someone get something right from day one than for them to try and unlearn bad practice and to change cultures within a business. Why not actually set that culture of safety and compliance out from day one within your operation? So like I say, it's a new business development, and it's all about maintaining high standards for both drivers and vehicles. So this will promote effective transport management. So we will set out key milestones, and it will be part of a 2-year program. So you can complete that program within a maximum of 2 years, but you can also complete it before that. So we'll set out those key milestones. They're all built around your operator license, what we believe it is to be a good compliant operator, but also set at a pace that's realistic. I'm not expecting operators in the Road to Earned Recognition to be at the Earned Recognition standard from day one. That's unrealistic. You're a new business, you're finding your feet, but DVSA will help you to find your feet that bit quicker and also find your feet correctly. So that's going to improve standards. As a result, we're going to improve road safety. And also the employee well-being as well. It's a huge part of the operation now. You know, we want to make sure that drivers are looked after, but also that they understand what their requirements are as a professional driver, but also operators understand what are their obligations as an employer of said driver. So that's going to reduce the risk of non-compliance and potentially any kind of regulatory action that a TC may take. Ultimately, if you find yourself in front of the traffic commissioner at the beginning of your operation, it's because you've got things wrong. If we're setting out standards to show you how to get it right, the chances of that happening are less likely to take place. And like I say, operators within this space will work with DVSA so that we can get the right outcome. And again, that serves your communities, the towns that you work and operate in, and also all of your contracts. I always say vehicles that we stop at those roadsides, so if you think back to the start of my presentation when I spoke about the non-compliant, those vehicles weren't out there because they felt like going for a drive. Someone gave them a contract, someone paid them for their services or the goods they were delivering. Think about who you're using in your supply chain. Think about who you work with. You don't want to be associated with non-compliance. And it's something, like I said, from those images, impacts every single one of us, not just people within our industry, but also the communities that we serve. So you can find out some more information on both the DVSA Earned Recognition Scheme and also the Road to Earned Recognition programme. So if you just type in gov.uk DVSA and search Earned Recognition, they'll come up. You can also contact my Earned Recognition team via dvsaer@dvsa.gov.uk, and the Road to Earned Recognition team are also available via r2er@dvsa.gov.uk, and the website will be going live on the 14th of June of this year, 2023, for applications to the Road to ER programme. And of course, applications are open now if you want to sign up to the Earned Recognition programme. Thank you for your time. I'm going to pass back now to Victoria. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. I really enjoyed that, particularly the fact that you're recognising who's getting it right, and it's a positive scheme. And I think it's really important that that's reinforced. So thank you. Just going to share a little bit more, and I'm just going to talk to you about how the Accelerator Earned Recognition module actually works with our Accelerator software. So this is our Earned Recognition dashboard. It gives you a really clear overview of the KPIs required by the DVSA. And this is the data that the DVSA sees once the Earned Recognition email is sent to them. If you make the decision to join the scheme, we work with you. We make sure you understand what KPIs you need to be hitting and how you can achieve them in the Accelerator system. The most common question we get is, how do I generate my Earned Recognition report? Well, you don't. Accelerator will track a set list of KPIs for you without you having to do anything extra apart from entering your jobs into the system like you normally would. It provides an accurate report for M1 to M5 key performance indicators directly to the DVSA on an agreed 4-week schedule. Phil did mention this, but I just want to reinforce the DVSA do not have direct access to your data. The report's all they see. So you're probably wondering how Accelerator tracks your KPIs. This is done through 5 M codes. So the 5 different categories. M1 is the full set. So to meet M1, all the planned vehicles due for an inspection within a 4-week period must have an inspection job in that period. To meet M2, all inspection records should be appropriate to the vehicle and should include all requirements stated in the Guide to Maintaining Roadworthiness. I'm falling over my words. M3, this is dictated by the O licence. For example, if the operator's licence states 8 weekly inspections, but the operator decides to carry these out every 6 weeks, the KPI would only be breached if there are more than 8 weeks between any inspection. M4, driver's defects. To meet M4, driver's defects must be actioned upon. It's up to the operator to decide the most appropriate action. And finally, M5. To meet M5, vehicles and trailers with MOTs due during the period must pass their initial MOT. So here's a view of our KPI dashboards, giving you a complete overview of your fleet or workshop in seconds. All the views are customizable and you can set them to only show the data you want to see. This gives you instant access to compliance-related information such as daily vehicle check statuses, vehicles with outstanding defects or inspections, weekly hours books, jobs awaiting parts, and much more. The dashboards make it simple to identify outstanding faults and defects to get your fleet back on the road, and it's a perfect tool for compliance. So benefits to compliance. You're increasing your fleet uptime. So by following the regulations, you minimise the chances of having disruptions, breakdowns, delays that impact your fleet's productivity. By regularly inspecting and maintaining your vehicles, you're reducing repair and maintenance costs. As Phil mentioned, you're reducing your roadside inspections and your DVSA visits, and you're safeguarding your operator licence by reducing your risk, because you're making sure you're meeting industry standards, reducing the likelihood of licence suspension that could have consequences for your business. And also, as Phil touched upon, you're boosting your contract bidding power. Earned recognition accreditation is seen as a real positive, and particularly with the new modules and the FORS and it being comparable to FORS recognition, it will really help you earn those bigger contracts. That makes you have that competitive edge. So, using Accelerator, Fleet and Workshop Management System to help you keep your earned recognition accreditation. It gives you clear business benefits, a system that works for you. We have fixed costs, there's no surprises, and we have continuous support. Our system allows you to go paperless. It's incredibly simple and easy to use, allows you to take control, and you get access to your fleet workshop from your phone, your tablet, or your laptop. One of our customers that I spoke to a couple of days ago said it's great. He's not at work till 9 o'clock every night now. He can go home and he can check on his phone. So his wife's happy. So why choose us? Why choose Accelerator for your earned recognition accreditation? Accelerator has been built up from client feedback and suggestions. And when you purchase it, it doesn't just stop there. We work with you to get your system fully operational, your team trained, so you get the most from the software. Our UK office is based in Newquay, Cornwall, and this is where our support, implementation and training teams are. And we welcome you to visit for training or just to pop in and say hello, have a Cornish cream tea and pasty, and get the most from Accelerator. Like many of our customers, we're a family company. We've built up a huge amount of expertise over 28 years. We're big enough to cope, but we're small enough to care. We also offer flexible solutions. Appreciating a one-size-fits-all approach isn't appropriate to all businesses. We offer flexible payment solutions, hosting solutions, and training solutions. So thank you for your time while I spoke to you about Accelerator and earned recognition. Are there any questions? Okay, so any questions? Right, we've got a couple of questions that have just come through, Phil. The first one is, how long does it take to receive earned recognition?
So it really depends on where you are as an operator. And what I mean by that is, if you've got your house in order in terms of if you understand the scheme, you're able to achieve the KPIs, you've looked at our audit standards and everything's in place, you can get an application turned around within a couple of weeks. We give you a 6-month window to have your audit. So that's from the point of application. So you can have your audit up to 3 months prior to your application being submitted, or 3 months thereafter. That's your 6-month window. But my advice would always be to get systems in place first. So your IT systems in place as soon as possible, because also as well, if there are any failings on those KPIs that I mentioned, you've got time to sort them out as soon as possible. And then you're in the best possible place you can be to get your application through in a timely manner.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Philip. Just dipping in from Accelerator point of view, we do advise people to purchase the module as soon as they're thinking about it, because then we can really help and guide and advise, so that when it comes to the point that they're starting to push that button, it's actually quite organised. Everybody knows how it works, and the KPIs are the results that we want. So thank you. Another question. Does the scheme account for vehicles off-road? For example, gritters will only be used during the winter months and will be grounded for the summer period, but are still on the operator licence.
So it's vehicles that are active, really, that are in use. So you can VOR them, and then they won't count in for, say, your KPIs or the requirements. But if they're on your operator license and they're being used, then yes, they will be incorporated into that. In terms of best practice, we always state that actually the earned recognition standard being used across all your fleet, so whatever type of vehicle that may be, including vans, for example, that is the highest standard. So why would we not encourage that kind of best practice? But in terms of KPIs and reporting, it's the vehicles that are being used and active on your operator license that will count.
Okay, thank you for that. And the last question is, so what happens if they underperform and they don't get 100%? That's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question, and my team are there to help, and myself actually, I should say, are there to help and guide operators. Like I said earlier, I'm not saying earned recognition operators are perfect. No one's perfect. There will be the odd thing that goes wrong. You're dealing with variables in drivers, vehicles, supply chain, maintenance suppliers, and everything in between. It's all about what the KPIs do and what the earned recognition standards do is help you to focus. And this is feedback that we get from many of our members. It helps them to focus on the overall business and the overall operation. I've been in my career, I've been in many a public inquiry, and I've seen probably the worst answer that you can give to a traffic commissioner is when they say, what's gone wrong here or what's happened here? And the operator or the transport manager turns around and says, I do not know.
Yeah.
If you don't know and it's your business and it's your operation,
Yeah.
that's a problem. If you don't know, who should know? And with the KPIs and the audit standards and the earned recognition standards, it stops that, it eliminates that, any kind of those gaps. So
Yeah.
it really focuses. And then my team are there to help you to identify what's gone wrong, advise you so it doesn't happen again. And like I say, it becomes an isolated incident rather than a repeat offence or a culture of non-compliance. That's what we're really looking for here. Not for you to be perfect, but you to show the willingness, you to get it right, take our advice on board and work with myself and my team.
Good. That's super. And that's reassuring to know. Any more questions? No? Okay, thank you. Thank you everybody for your time today, especially Phil. Thank you. If anybody wants any more information, please drop Phil or myself a line, and have a lovely afternoon. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.